So we're going to look at something a little different than life insurance here, the topic of annuities, right, which comes up. And really, rather than go through the different types of annuities, because we can craft them in 10 million different ways, is how to approach, right, how to view, how to set expectations properly when it comes to annuities. There's two reasons to use annuities at the end of the day. They are a safe insurance product, right? So one is for growth. However, we do give up some control here. The insurance company has control of our growth. We're going to go through an example on this. Where they are at their strongest has to do with income, right? Creating almost a personal pension, call it, where I give a company a lump sum of money and they guarantee that they're going to pay me X amount of dollars every month, every year for a certain period of time or for the rest of my life. So this is where they are at their strongest, where the contractual guarantees are at their strongest. We know what we're going to get. This, right, when we take an annuity and look at it for growth, what we do eliminate is risk. That's out of the picture. There's no risk. Often what we'll see is if the market goes up, this is often used as the gauge, the S&P 500, market goes up, we go up with it. Market goes down, our principal is protected. However, there are limitations as far as how much we can actually earn. So let's look at an example here. All right. So what we have here first is this is the growth called an indexed annuity, meaning if the market goes up, we go up with it. Market goes down, our principal is protected. What we're going to look at here is a 55-year-old male. And to keep things simple, we're going to look at a $100,000 deposit. Is that big enough there? Thanks. 55 years old, state's Jersey, doesn't really matter. Some states have restrictions. We can get the same thing at the end of the day. $100,000 contribution. The first thing you want to look at, same with an insurance policy, a life insurance policy, are the guarantees. Kind of a worst case scenario, right? Just to set expectations properly. So this assumes that we deposit $100,000 and the market produces zero or negative forever. Not going to happen, obviously, but it is good to see, okay, what would my account look like, or what is this company actually guaranteeing in terms of the minimum? Also discloses what I like to call fake money and real money. Right, so here is our contract anniversary value. Meaning when I get a statement on my account value, they're going to show here's how much you've earned via the guarantee or the market projection, my anniversary value, but then here's my cash surrender value. That's the important column we want to look at. If I want to access money, if I want to cash it out, if I want to transfer it somewhere else, I get this, right? So often what you have with annuities are what are called surrenders. We call it surrender fees. Often the average is a 10-year time period, meaning when I start an annuity, I'm in a sense locked into it for the first 10 years, where you'll see these values, right, this is a 10-year mark here, really become equal at or a little bit before the 10th year, right? Meaning if I cash it out at this point in time, okay, it's equal to or greater than the anniversary value. Again, this is the minimum guarantee, a little over 1%. It's not that strong, but it does show, okay, I do have a guarantee associated with the account. You always want to earn something in the event the market tanks and produces nothing for us. So that's the guaranteed example. Let's scroll down here and look at the non-guaranteed example, right? And this can be tricky, right? When we look at these non-guaranteed examples with annuities, they are based off of market history in most cases. Meaning we don't plug in, here's a 6% hypothetical return, here's a 4%, here's a 10%. here's what the market has done the past 30 years. If it repeats itself and the insurance companies keep the same participation rates terms, which we'll get into in a second here, here's what I can expect my values to grow to. Before we look at the values, potential drawback here that we want to be aware of, right, is this piece here, cap rate / spread 2.25%. Right, what that means, this again is tied to an account very similar to the S&P 500, and this is telling me if the market does 20% one year, this 2.25 spread means I'm going to earn that 20% minus whatever my spread is, right? So that would come out to what, 17.75%. Not a bad deal, right? With no risk, I can never lose funds. Here's the thing, that cap rate or spread can be adjusted, and often is each year by the insurance carrier. We want to be aware of that. This way we don't think, hey, they're going to keep it at that, I'm going to have all this money, and then I don't. Good to be aware of. They can adjust that. There are limits as far as how much they can adjust it, but we definitely want to be aware. We also have these terms, PTP with spread. What the heck does that mean, right? Point to point. You'll see this in the fine print, right, of these big, thick packets. Right, so 2-year point to point. What this means is I give the annuity company, in this case $100,000. A 2-year point to point means they're going to look at, here we're just going to use the same basic example, S&P 500. What's today's date? 10th? 9th? All right. April 9th. Thank you. 2019. They're going to look at what the S&P 500 is at today. And then, April 9th, 2021, they're going to say, okay, here's how much the account grew by, or here's how much the S&P increased by. You'll get all the gains, minus the 2.25% spread. But 2 years is a long time. If the market climbs up super high by the 8th, and then the 9th it tanks, well, that hurts. We won't have the same potential earnings than we would have invested directly in the market, right? So good to be aware of these drawbacks, right? What this is a safe product. There's no risk with it. Our money will go nowhere but up. But to set expectations properly, we don't want to think, okay, I'm going to earn all this money. There's years we could earn nothing, even for a 2 to 4 year period. So what this shows again here is market history. We've got the interest earned over here, but let's just focus on the actual values. Right, so cash surrender value, that's our money column, not the anniversary value. As time passes here, this looks great. We deposited 100K. If the market repeats itself and the company does not adjust the spread, yeah, it's going to compound, it's going to be very attractive, with no risk either. Right, so that's the potential upside to a growth annuity. And again, this is for someone that does not want any risk. You're tired of the market, maybe you have limited financial experience. I've got these funds in an old 401k, old IRA, whatever. I want to roll them over, get some earnings, but it's more so safe money, and I want to keep it tax deferred. This is something to consider. Not to say it's the end-all be-all, but it's a good option to consider. If you don't like the market at all and want zero exposure to it, you also have basic fixed annuities. It's kind of like a CD, actually, when we look at it. Here's a similar situation, 55-year-old male. Wrong button, right? Same $100,000 deposit. This is pretty straightforward. Guaranteed interest rate of 4%. So if I've got a 401k, or I've got an IRA, I'm tired of risk, hey, just put it somewhere safe where I don't have to think about it, or I'm going to access it maybe when I'm 59 in 5 years, or I'll continue just to roll it over. This is a guaranteed interest rate of 4%, very straightforward, compound interest, cash surrender value, There you go. Almost like an alternative to a CD. We can do it if we use CDs and we're comfortable with the 5-year period with just money in the bank, non-qualified funds as well. So we've got guaranteed and indexed annuities. Let's look at one more, the income annuity. That's what we want here. So with the income annuity, we can use any amount here. What we used is a 60-year-old male depositing $500,000, right? $500,000. Can be any amount. Here's what an income annuity does. We give the insurance company a pile of money, $500K in this example. Is this big enough? A little bigger? Right, so I give them $500K. Let me know when it's good. It's good. When I give them that $500K, I do not have access to that $500K anymore. I cannot access the principal. Some permit it, but the ones with the strongest guaranteed income do not. $500K deposit, and they turn around and say, okay, thanks for the money. I'm going to guarantee that you receive $25,000, this is for a 60-year-old here, per year for the rest of your life. It's paid monthly, it's a little over $2K. So the disadvantage here is we give up access to $500K, right? If we invest in real estate, if we own a business, if we like using our money for anything, this is not the option. If we inherited money, if we have limited financial experience and we say, hey, I just want to make sure that this lasts forever and I get income off of it, I don't want it to disappear somehow, this is where these are considered. A lot of times if one's widowed, we see these used. What it does, it's pretty straightforward. It pays $25K a year forever. Right, 20 years in, remember he deposited $500K. This is showing the cumulative payouts or payments he got. He received at this point $500K. So if you were pulling it from your mattress each year, right, or a 0% bank account, this, in theory, would be when we run out. Now, as time passes, he keeps getting that $25,000 per year, right? Really how these accounts work, the longer we live, call it the more we win, right? We get more money back than what we paid in, right? If I have this account, I kicked the bucket at 95, I got $25K a year, I received $900,000 in total funds. Again, I deposited $500, which means I got that $500 plus another $400 back, right? So that's where they have their strengths, right? And no matter what happens, that income payout is guaranteed for as long as I live. And by the way, if we die before we've collected the full deposit we paid in this case $500,000, what will often happen, we want to make sure we set it up right, but the balance, right, if there's $250K left, right, if I die 10 years into it, that $250K will get paid out to my beneficiary. It's not as if the insurance company just keeps the money forever. We don't want that. So 2 types of annuities. Income, what was the other one? Growth. Income and growth. Hope this helps.